Okay, so to get some practice with applying effects, we're going to do a very simple little exercise here. So we're going to import this from activity 431. It's a little PNG spaceship, and we're going to make a new composition, and we'll just call this invasion wave 1. Oh, my spelling is terrible. Invasion wave 1. We'll set it to HDTV 1080 25 frames per second and 10 seconds duration, and okay. And then I'm going to place that spaceship down into the comp here, and I'm just going to make some duplicates. So I'm going to randomly kind of position them. So one there, Command or Control D to make a duplicate, and I'll put another one here, Command D, another one, Command D, and let's do another 2 more. And then I'm going to change the scale of them a little bit, so some of them will be smaller and some a little bit bigger. Okay, so they're a little bit more randomized. Then we're going to apply an effect from the Effects and Presets panel. So you're going to find that panel here, Effects and Presets, and then you're going to type into the search field Wiggle, and you're going to find Wiggle Position, and we're going to drag that and drop it onto one of these, and then let's just play it and see what that looks like. Okay, so Wiggle is kind of a special type of effect that applies a position and a transform effect to give a kind of random kind of wiggling effect. So look, works pretty well here. So what we're going to do is take, and here notice it opens the effect controls, and here are the parameters for Wiggle. The 2 parameters that you are most likely to want to change is speed and amount. So I'm going to bring the amount down a little bit so they're not wiggling quite as much. I'll bring it down to 20. And I'll put the speed up to 2. And then I'm going to select both of these effects, the Wiggle Position and the Wiggle Transform. I'm going to copy, Command or Control C, and I'm going to go to each of the other spacecraft and paste. Okay, so they have the same effect applied to all of them. So let's see what happens here. Okay, so they look more like they're kind of hovering, ready to attack. Okay, now I can turn off effects by clicking on that little FX button. So if I turn that off, that particular item will no longer be applied with that effect. I can also change the order of effects, and it does change how things work. So if I put Wiggle Position below Transform, it gives a different effect. In this case, it's not that noticeable, but in many other circumstances, the order of effects, the stacking order of effects, is really important because it gets rendered from the bottom to the top. So the effect at the bottom will be applied first, followed by the next and the next and the next. And you can also delete effects just by selecting them and pressing the delete key. So in this case, we've applied the same effect to all of these items. And then what I'm going to do is make another composition. So I'm going to go back up here to my project panel, new comp, and I'll just call this Invasion Wave 2. Same settings, but now I'm going to take my Invasion Wave 1 and place that into Invasion Wave 2 and reapply the Wiggle Position effect to that whole layer composition or pre-composed layer. So now I'm getting a wiggle effect on top of a wiggle effect. Okay, and then I'm going to duplicate a few times and move around. One more. And starting at the bottom, I'm going to, or the next one down from the top one, I'm going to scale down a little bit and change the opacity down a little bit. Okay, the next one, scale down a bit more, and opacity down a bit more, and then finally scale to the smallest, and opacity, so kind of just fading them into the distance. So it's kind of a cheap trick here, but let's just see what our final result is. So it kind of looks more like there's lots of different spacecrafts all flying and hovering in some kind of formation. Okay, so this is just a little exercise to help you understand how to apply effects, how to change the settings for effects, how to copy and paste effects from one layer to another, how to turn effects on and off, and also how to reorder and delete effects. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and see you next time.